Yo, yo, wasn't the news that a lot of people were expecting, right? Like a lot of people were expecting Joe Whitt
Wasn't the news
to be
that
fired, right? I didn't think that was going to happen for a few reasons, right? You don't really want to set that precedent as a new owner trying to establish himself within the National Football League as an owner in the National Football League, right? You don't want to jump ship as soon as things get rough, right? You want to have some type of leeway. And I think they've done that a lot, right? I think over the last month, they have, even if it was like backdoorish, I think they have strategically got to this point, right? Regardless of what that looks like. Quinn more involved in the day-to-day meetings. Quinn more involved in the personnel. Quinn more involved in the scripted 15. Quinn more involved in the personnel changes, who plays, who don't play. Whatever that process was, right? I think it was it strategically led up to this point. And listen, welcome to Riddle Radio. This is Riddle Radio's breaking news with Deuce, right? I don't know, and I don't know if Unc is coming through or not. I'm gonna tell him I'm in the studio if he wants to come through. I don't like. I think all of this led to this point. I didn't. Um, I didn't think that they were going to fire him. I didn't think they were going to fire him at all, right? But I did see him being demoted, right? The last straw was him coming to the sidelines. Now, keep in mind, just like he said, and what's up, Double N's? Appreciate you for coming through, man. Just like he said, right? Witt said a few weeks ago that he was used to being in the box. He was in the box. His previous second was in the box. Brady, like all those people he named, were defensive coordinators from the box. That's where he's most comfortable, right? And when things not going right, you want to move him from the box. So I know for a fact that wasn't his decision. Even last week when he was like, first it was like, the players, they've been asking me this for a while. I'm not sure how long. I went to Dan Quinn about it, and it seemed like it's like he was all over the place because he was uncomfortable because he really did not he he really did not want to be on the sidelines. Right? No, I didn't say he was fired. I ain't say he was fired, Jim. I say he was relieved of his duty. And that duty is to call defensive plays. He was relieved of that duty, right? I didn't say he was fired. So he's relieved of that duty. Right? So, like, all he wanted, well, I mean, not all he wanted, but he did not want to go to the sidelines. That's not where he's comfortable with. And if you remember, one of the first press conferences he had, he said that it takes the emotion away when you're on the sideline. I mean, when you're in the booth making emotional decisions, right? But the one of the reasons he used last week is maybe that is going to help the defense out more, because I think it makes sense, right? That's something that you don't get on the sidelines, is that you don't get the conversations when the offense is on the field, right? You don't get to walk up and down and talk to this player, that player. What you see. A lot of stuff you're getting is through headsets, right? Whoever's responsible relaying things through headsets, but you don't like talk to players, walking up and down the sideline, like, what you see here, what you see there, like getting the feel of the game, right? Because you're up in the booth, and we see what he looks like up in the booth. He looks confused and frustrated, right? So I am not surprised that we got here. I'm not surprised at all. I'm not surprised at all. Right? But I don't. So last night, Dan Quinn said that like we're not going to focus on any changes because we want to focus solely on Spain. That's what he said yesterday. Now he could have went back to the tape, looked it over, was like, nah, we got to make a change. Or Adam P could have came down and was like, look, man, you got to do something. Either you let him go, or you relieve him. But you got to do something. You got to do something. All right, so let's listen to Dan Quinn. Let me pull it up and let's listen to what he had to say.
When something's not working, we shift from the question of why isn't it working to what do we need to do to get it right. And right now, that'll call for some change. And I'll take over the role as the defensive coordinator, and all that entails. Known Joe as my right-hand man for years, and he took the news like the pro he is. As a defensive staff, including Joe, we're all consumed by getting it right. And that's exactly what we intend to do.
So when something is not working, you need to make a change. This hasn't been working for like the last month. So I really believe that they've been trying to make little tweaks and changes, right, to get to this point. Now, playing the young players like McGee, don't get it confused as if they played McGee to like for his speed or because of his youth or to learn from Bobby or take no. They played him because of the edges, right? Because our defensive edges was going down because they was injured. Like that position group is depleted. So they wanted to put Louisville more as an edge rusher. So they needed someone to fill Louisville's spot. So they brought up McGee. That had nothing to do with like, oh yeah, we need to get this young fellow on the field. No, because you know how Whitt feels when it comes to the vets and the rookies. Right? Because quote unquote, he said the vets might not have the speed of the rookies, but because they can dissect the play, they can get there quicker because they know where the play is going. So technically, he's saying that the veterans have faster game speed than the rookies. But that's just not the case when you're watching the tape because Bobby just can't get there. Von Miller just can't get there. Right? So he said he talked to him. He took it like a pro. He said that's his right-hand man. So understand this is hard for Dan Quinn. Dan Quinn looks defeated. He looks defeated. He looks defeated, right? So when you think about the conversation that he had with him, I'm sure it was a conversation that's been had over the last month or so. That we're going to get to this point. So bringing him on the field was the last straw. They were probably hoping for a better game. But I wonder how the players took this. Because now when you think about it, if all of a sudden the players is looking better and playing better, is it really Whitt? Was the players doing that to get rid of Whitt? And you hope that's not the case. You hope that's not the case. Because he said multiple times, I remember he even got a little smart about it a few weeks ago about like making calls and things more simple, right? If a quarterback is in shotgun, this is one play. If they motion to him under center, it's another play. If the wide receiver shifts from right to left, it's another play, right? But he said we're going to stay how we are regardless of how they move, even though we should probably shift to a different set depending on how they are set. He was being sarcastic and grouchy about it. He did not want to. Everything that's happening, Whitt did not want to do. He don't want to play the young people. He don't want to make things simpler. He don't want to streamline the personnel. He didn't want to move to the sidelines. He don't want to blitz. He don't want to play his cornerbacks 2-3 hours off the ball when it's 4th and 1. He want to keep Bobby in the middle of the field checking wide receivers. He want to keep running zone in the red zone. Like he is stubborn to what the things that is needed for this team. He's trying to run a defense with personnel he does not have. Now, you can argue that it's Quinn's defense. I agree. But I believe that Quinn gave, like, this is the defense that I want you to run. Are you comfortable with? Because it's not the same defense as he see out, but it's the same concepts, terminology from when they was with the Cowboys. So Whitt knows it. He understands. Whitt said that he was ready for this moment when we hired him. He'd been ready for like the last 8 years. He's been ready for this opportunity, but you were not ready yet. So what does this look like? What does this look like as the season progresses? What is he going to be doing? Right? Dan Quinn mentions it and is it that he's going to be in a press box. So is he going to be demoted back to the secondary coach? I don't know. But let's see what else Dan Quinn had to say.
And as far as like heading out on the trip and getting rolling, as we head out tonight, I've been a fan of extended road trips, whether it's training camp or, in season to the opposite coast. It can serve a lot of purposes. And this trip, that is literally the definition of that. And so for all of us, the players, the coaches, we're really consumed by getting it right and getting better. And a week together, we need that, every bit of it. Finally,
so I don't know what that means, right? Extended trip. Like for some reason, they think this is like this is just a training camp. No, you're going there to play a football game. I mean, are they? I would. I mean, they're leaving tomorrow, right? So it's not like, I mean, and they got to be back for the following. Well, it was a bye week next week. So I mean, are they staying past Sunday to do some team building? Because they got to go early, right? So they can kind of adjust, to the time difference. They got to have a couple days to adjust to that, and then they got to practice. So what do you mean extended trip? Are they staying past the bye week? I don't know, bro.
And on some tough news on the injury front, Trey Amos fractured his fibula, and that will knock him out for a while, so he'll miss some significant time. So all that said, I'll get started with you.
So Trey is done for the year, right? More than likely he's done for the year. Heal up, be back for next year. I don't know what the cornerback room gonna look like. I don't know. None of them guys is playing good. Is it the scheme? I don't know. We're gonna see. We definitely gonna see.
Guys, and we'll get rolling.
Okay, Con. What led to this decision to do this? How long you been thinking about that? Why now?
I think now, just after watching and reviewing the tape, we felt off. You've heard me say that word, John. And so I thought this is the time to add into that and lean in. Joe and I have got a great vibe together, John. We've worked together, through our time in Dallas, and we'll lean back into that space where, he'll help me along the way and all that leads up into the game and calling it into that space. So having Joe, and I been in that vibe together, we'll lean into that again, and we'll do that now.
Nikki?
Dan, what does this mean exactly for Joe's role going forward if you're handling play calling and everything that defensive coordinator, what that role is.
Yep. So Joe will be involved all week, obviously with the rest of the staff, and planning and getting ready for the game. And then on game day, he'll be in the press box, and with the vision on the coverage and the things that we need to do. And so, like I said, Nikki, I'm fortunate that we've been in that battle rhythm together during our time together in Dallas, and so we're going to try to slip into that.
He is so defeated, bro. He is so defeated, bro. That man Whitt going right back to the box. Right? He going right back to the press box. I don't know what this is going to look like for after the season. They boys, so maybe he stay around and help Dan Quinn. But is Dan Quinn going to call the defense next year? I don't know. Right? So now he has to put all his focus into the defense. But this is why you hire assistant coaches like Brian Johnson. This is why you hire assistant head coaches. To be able to pick up the slack for you with the team stuff. Right? But I don't think this is him. I don't think this is what he wanted to do. I think this is more so about Adam Peters. I think it's more so about Adam Peters. I do. But we're here now, right? Joe Whitt has been demoted. He's been relieved of a duty, and that duty is calling defensive plays for the Washington Commanders. So this is something, right? He's done something. He didn't fire him, but he set him to the side. So you're not going to hear Joe Whitt. You're not going to see Joe Whitt. I don't know who you're going to see on Thursdays, right? For the coordinators. Maybe it is, and but I don't think they'll put him in there to be embarrassed. How you feel about being demoted? What do you blah blah blah? Like I don't know if they'll do that, right? So we might just get Cliff on Thursdays for the main, or maybe they'll switch up some defense. I don't know what they're going to do. I don't know what they're going to do, right? But this is RITL Radio. Breaking news: Joe Whitt has been relieved of his play calling duties. Tap back in with us at 8:00. We're going live to talk more about this. We're going to have Felix Tremel's going to join us to talk about our guests from yesterday at Northwest Stadium and the state of this team. And as he prepares to head over to Madrid. I appreciate all y'all for tapping in. Remember, do it because you love it, not because it loves you. One beat, one sound, one heart, one love.